This
PRPC.
conference will now be recorded.
So it's used across all the domains like healthcare, communications, banking, finance, insurance, and government. Okay, so like this. So we can use to develop any application across all the domains, okay, in the world, okay, for any organization. So whatever the requirement we can do. Okay, but before starting this PRPC, initially this PRPC is started as a business rules engine. Okay, so what do you mean by business rules engine? So if we know that, okay, then we will come to know the journey of the PRPC. So generally, any application will be having three-tier architecture. Okay, so what are those three-tier architecture? Means we'll be having the user interface and some business rules, business conditions, and later we'll be having the database. Okay. So here user interface. User interface means by which the user will be interacting with the system. Okay. For example, if you take Gmail account. Okay. If you take one simple example, Gmail account. So Gmail account. Okay. If you want to create, what you will do, first of all, you will be doing the sign up. So whenever you select the sign up option, what it will do, it is going to be taking your personal details, right? Like your name, address, city, state, zip code, and again your age, your gender. So all these details it is accepting. So that means in the user interface, you will be providing the data. And later what it will do, the values which you have given, your personal details will be stored into the database. So your details will be saved into the database. Okay, so in between these two, what it is happening? It is happening something called some kind of the validations. So what are those validations? Means like, so if you want to create your account, okay, so the age should be something like 18 above. Otherwise, what it will do? Okay, it will ask the nominee details. Okay, if you want to create the child account, okay, what it will do? It will ask you to enter the nominee details as well. Okay, so that kind of the conditions it will ask. They are called business rules. They are called business rules. So in the initial days, what it happened, so if you want to develop any application, so these three will be available in one system only. Before the internet come into the picture, so these three are part of the one system only. So everything in one application only they are creating. So this is called single tier architecture. So these three together in one system they are available. That is called one tier architecture or single tier architecture. Okay, this is called a single tier architecture. So later what they have done is they have divided into two parts. So what are those two parts? Means user interface one part, user interface one part, and then business rules, and again database. Those two are going to be another part. So this is called a two-tier architecture. Okay, this is the two-tier architecture. And later in the future, in the next days, what they have done is they have divided all these three into three separate parts. So user interface into one server, business rules into another server, and database into the another server. Okay, so database one server, business rules one more server, and then this user interface into one more server. So totally it is having three layers. So that is the reason why this is called three-tier architecture. Like this. Okay, so in the older days, first it started with a single tier architecture and later two-tier architecture and then three-tier architecture. So like that, totally three architectures, three types of the architectures available. This three-tier architecture is also called a multi-tier architecture also. Okay, so this user interface they used to develop by using C, C++, Java, otherwise even in the older days, COBOL, Pascal, all these things. Okay, and then this databases, it has something like Microsoft Access, okay, and later Sybase, and then my MS SQL Server, Oracle, like that it will be having. Okay, where are the business rules where they are used to implement? Means they used to implement through PEGA. Okay, they used to implement these rules in the PEGA. So initially the PEGA started to just to develop the business rules only the conditions or validations to apply. Okay, later PEGA is expanded in such a way that not only the business rules, through this you can also create the user interface and application. Okay, you can also create one application. Okay, so this is the journey initially started with the business rules, and currently, okay, it is also supporting user interface also. So now you need not go for any Java language or C or C++ or any other language. Okay, then why we need to go for PEGA when it is supporting C or C++ or Java or else .NET? Why we need to go for PEGA to create the user interface application, even the business rules? Means even though the PEGA is initially implemented through on top of Java, through PEGA, you can easily implement any application. Why? Because this is completely user interface only. Okay, even to create any of the application, you can just drag and drop. So that kind of the features it is available through PEGA. Okay, that kind of the features it is available by PEGA. So that is the reason why. Okay, so PEGA is more user friendly, that one. So this, as I said, PEGA means it's a PEGA rules process commander. So by using this PEGA rules process commander, we can develop both development and runtime environment. So it also supports both development and runtime environment. Development time means, okay, development environment means where exactly we will be developing the application is the development environment. Runtime environment means where exactly you will be implementing the application and later you will be verifying. That means when you deploy the application or else when you deliver the application to the end user, okay, when you deliver the application to the end user, how exactly it will display to the user, that we can see by using the runtime environment. Okay, so that is the main difference between development environment and runtime environment. Runtime means when it is given to the end user, okay, when it is given to the actual client, so how exactly it will display, we can see that also from the PRPC. And it can be used to build business process management and business rules engine applications. You see, by using them, we can be used to build business process management and business rules engine. So what I mean by business rules engine and what I mean by business process management? Okay, business process management means it is a combination of the process flow, data, business rules, and the user interface. Okay, BPM is a combination of the flow. That means, for example, if you take one more small example, like I want to apply for the leave. So if you want to apply for the leave, how you can apply for the leave? So first you need to raise a request, leave request, and later it will go for the manager approval. So whether the manager may be approve, otherwise reject. Okay, so based on the condition, and after that, that may be rejected. Okay, so that is called a one flow. Okay, from starting to ending, okay, it is going to start and later in the middle, okay, the user is going to be interacting and later he may be either approve or reject the application or else your request. So that is called a process flow. And plus data. So what is data? So here the person who is applying for the leave, okay, so that user details is one data. And later the manager who is approving the leave, so we will be having the manager data. And in case if we have any bank account, so that is also something called like some of the details which you will be having. Okay, like your account number, okay, and again the total money available in your account. So everything you can see as part of the data. And then what? Business rules. So what are the business rules? So business rules means, as I said, okay, it is various conditions on your application. Like if you want to have the savings account with ICICI Bank, you should have minimum of 10,000 in your bank balance. Okay, you need to maintain minimum 10,000. Otherwise, what will happen? Okay, they are going to raise something called, they are going to charge some amount like low balance charges, something like that. Okay, so they are the business rules. And plus the user interface. The user interface means on which the user is going to be interacting with the application. He is going to give the details. That is the user interface. Okay, so this BRE mainly contains these things again. Okay, external application calls into the rules engine. So this is the rules engine which it will call. Okay, where the business rules available to execute a specific rule, set of rules, set of conditions. And the BRE will not have any user interface. Okay, whereas in the BPM, along with business rules plus user interface, we will be taking. So here BRE will not have any user interface through PRPC for the user running the applications. Okay, like that. So Gopal, so are you fine? Are you understanding? Am I going fast?
Yes, yes, yes. It's clear.
Okay,
Good
great.
explanation. Yeah.
Super. Okay, so that business rules, it's been more elaborated. Okay, so business rules are abstractions of the policies and practices of a business organization. Okay, it's an abstraction of the policies and practices of a business organization. Okay, what do you mean by abstraction? In general, abstraction means hiding the data. Okay, so these business rules are contains the it contains the business rules and it is hiding from the user. Okay, but whenever you enter some values, whenever you interact with the application, then it is going to be explaining. Okay, it is going to be applying those business rules and then giving the validation messages to the user. Okay, so and it create an unambiguous statement of what a business does, what decision making policies. Okay, so whatever the name we say, whether they are called business rules, otherwise we can say validations, otherwise some conditions. So everything for making some kind of the decision policies only. Okay, as I said, okay, to create a bank account also, the customer age should be greater than 18. Okay, otherwise we can create child account, and for that again you must have the nominee details. Okay, so these kind of the policies also we can implement through the business rules. So the formal specification becomes information which is used in running the process and rules engine. So the formal specification becomes information which is used in running the process and rules engine. So whatever the information which you are providing, like customer details or account details, okay, so they all are part of the business rules only. So they can also call it as some specifications for the applications. And these business rules can be anything that an organization uses to make an operational decision. Okay, so this is mainly used to take the decision for the organization. So they might include enterprise level decisions, divisional level decisions, corporate and line of business policies, as well as calculations and formulas or risk thresholds and regulatory authorizations. So any of these can be a part of the business rules. Okay, means what? So there is an organization. For example, if you take Amazon, so Amazon is having across the world. So, but in the Amazon portal, okay, India wise, there will be some conditions, some products. Okay, but whereas if you take it to the America, so in the America, these conditions will be again differently available. Okay, so whoever the customers accessing the application, so these business rules will be changed based on the country. And sometimes even in India also, okay, few conditions would be different to state wise, or okay, from one city to another city wise. So they all are the conditions or validations we can apply through these business rules. So these rules are often expressed in conversation, written text, and software as if-then statements. So we will be applying through the if-then statements like that. Okay, even in general, if you take any C or C++, right? So there we will be having if condition, okay, else again one more condition, else again one more condition. So those conditions we will be applying through the business rules here. So if the loan applicant does not have a sufficient credit history, then pull a report from the debit bureau. Okay, so even if you want to take any loan, right? So they will be check your credit score. So if the credit score is in the proper score, if you are maintaining, then the loan will be approved. So that we will be taking from the debit bureau, and again we will be checking that condition. Okay, the condition is like, okay, credit score is maintaining properly or not, and then issue the loan. So these rules management solutions use a similar intuitive and readable syntax to specify and change rules in decisioning applications. Okay, whereas if you take any C or C++, right? Okay, the if else conditions, okay, if you write, okay, there may be somewhat difficult for the normal users to understand. But whereas in PEGA, if you want to apply these conditions, that is easy to understand and everybody can easily write, and even they can change the conditions as well. Okay, so these business users can therefore change how an application operates immediately and without requiring IT help. As I said, even the normal operator also, normal user also can make any changes in the business conditions. Okay, you would be asking why the normal people will be changing. Okay, why not the developer? Means, for example, you see here, when I am creating the application for the ICICI Bank, initially they said that the minimum balance to be maintained in the savings account is 10,000. Okay, but after few days, they may be reduced it to 5,000. So the minimum balance in the savings account is 5,000 only. So if you want to make this change, so the people may have to come to development team and ask them to change the condition, but it is very lengthy process again. So instead of that, what we can do is we can give some permissions only to the few people in the ICICI Bank, like some manager level people, only they can change the condition. So if you give that permission, the manager, without coming to every time whenever the minimum balance amount is changed, instead of coming to every time to the development team, he himself can change. Okay, that will be like a one table. So in the table, okay, savings account minimum balance 10,000. So like that it will be there. So he can easily modify it. So he need not come to the development team. So that is without requiring the IT help. And what is the BRE? As I said, okay, it is a combination of the flows, data, business rules, and user interface. Okay, a software system that manages business rules. So this is the one which is managing the business rules. So it separates the business rules from the application code. So what is the application code? Application code means, okay, so I'm creating one user interface screen, and later that information I'm going to saving into the database. Okay, in between some validations which we are implementing through business rules, but the information which you are saving from user interface to the database. So for that you will be making some small piece of the information, some small development work you will be doing. Okay, but the development also not like the code which we are writing in Java, C or C++. Okay, like that. And later here this BRE contains mainly two types of the engine types. One is the inference and one is the reactive. So what do you mean by inference and what do you mean by reactive? So inference means it derives the conclusion based on the knowledge base. Okay, based on the knowledge base means based on the information available in the system, it is going to be deciding or answers the questions when a user or application submits them. Example, should this customer be allowed a mortgage? Like this. Okay, this is this customer allowed the loan or not? So that will be decided. How it will be decided? That will be decided based on his credit score. So where it is having this credit score, this takes the credit score from the credit bureau. Okay, that means here human intervention is not required. Automatically it will take. And even if you take one more small example, take the supermarket. In the supermarket, whenever the product quantity comes to below this particular level, for example, okay, one soap is there. Okay, so one soap, Lux soap is there. That right now 100 is their quantity. So whenever it reaches to the 10 quantity, automatically it should place the order. It should give the alert to the user saying that, okay, Lux soaps are coming to the quantity below the threshold level 10. Okay, so based on the quantity, it is going to be automatically triggering and alert the user. But whereas reactive means it is going to react based on the user inputs, whereas the one person is going to be working on the application. Okay, so here reactive detects and reacts to patterns of event occurring. So whenever the event occurs, so what is the event occur? For example, alert a manager when the certain items are out of stock also, same thing. Okay, so this based on the event also it is going to be deciding. Okay, so and here also no user interface is there. Okay, external systems communicate through open interfaces with the rules engine. And total together everything it is called a business process management system, a software system which allows for the direct execution of the business process. So removes the costly and time intensive development of process specific software. Okay, so it removes the costly and time intensive development. So why? Because here it is very easy to implement the application. and it allows the full business process to be defined. Okay, we can define the complete business process through the BPMS, and it provides a process-driven user interface. So it is completely like a process, one process we are following. Okay, as I said that, okay, if you apply for the leave, so first a person is applying for the leave and it will be routing to the manager for the approval. When the manager approves the leave, okay, so then it will be sending the messages to the user saying that your leave approved, otherwise your leave got rejected. So this complete process, it is called a business process management system. Okay, so now coming to the PEGA rules. So PEGA rules is also a business rules engine. It separates the business logic from the mission critical applications and enables the enterprise to capture, manage, and execute the business policies and practices. Okay, it is going to be separating everything. Okay, and it provides an inference engine to perform dynamic business decision making, and also it also provides the reactive engine. As I said that, okay, it also supports both inference and reactive. Okay, so reactive engine using the declarative rules that are viewed only when underlying data changes. So it is going to be reacting accordingly. So this combination of rule types and processing approaches provides rapid time to production and increased return on investment. So with this, okay, you will be, in case if you take any application to develop in Java, if it takes 1 year, the same thing you can implement in PEGA within just 6 months. So almost 50% of your time will be reduced, and sometimes even more than 50% also. Okay, so this business rules and process integration, okay, it provides an integrated development environment, business rules, business process, and the user interface. So all these three we can implement through PEGA PRPC, and it provides a test and production environment also. Okay, it also provides product test and production environments. Okay, what do you mean by test environment? What do you mean by production environment? Any idea, Gopal?
Yes, while coming to test environment, what we have developed the application, it has to be going to be testing in testing environment. After that, we have to launch the application into the production for the how it is going to like behavior.
Exactly, correct. Okay, so that means once after you developed any application, what we will be doing, we will also be testing into the higher environments. Okay, in general, how many number of the stages will be there means here development environment, and later SIT, okay, and later QA, UAT, production. Okay, so once after developing an application into the development environment, we will be moving the code to the SIT environment. Okay, in the SIT, they are going to test the application thoroughly. Okay, if there are any issues comes, we will be fixing in dev, again moving to the SIT. Okay, if it is success in SIT, then again they will be moving to the QA environment. Even in QA environment also it is success, then only it will move to the UAT. If any other occurs into the QA environment, again they will be sending it to the dev environment. So that defect will be fixed in dev and again move to SIT and then move to QA and then UAT. Okay, after UAT tested, then it will move to the production. Production is the place where actually the end users will be working. So if you take the bank application, okay, the bank employees also the end users and also the customers also the end users. So these two people together, okay, okay, so is called the end users. So once if you want to move the application to the production, okay, so these all are the stages will be there. These all are the servers will be there. In each and every server, the testing will be happening and then only it will go to the production. Okay, so these all are the test and production environments will be developed, okay, through the PEGA PRPC. And it alleviates the expense and resources associated with maintaining separate business process and rules databases, user interfaces, test, and production environments. So by using the PEGA PRPC, your development time is reducing drastically, okay, which I said 1 year to 6 months. So your development team effort will reduce, okay, your salaries will be reduced, your expenses will be reduced, and everything will be reduced. So that is called alleviates. Okay, so mainly PEGA PRPC, if you want to access, you see, this is the way. First, it will be having the PEGA rules. On top of the PEGA rules, process commander will be there, okay, which is PRPC. And from there, the users or developers or systems will be interacting. Other systems will be interacting. Okay, so this smart, there is something called smart BPM suite. So what do you mean by smart BPM suite? Okay, means, okay, already PEGA supports the development time very less. Okay, why? Because it is completely user interface, okay, comparatively with any other programming language like .NET or else Java. Okay, but along with that, PEGA also implemented some small applications based on the user needs. Okay, means for example, for banking, okay, most of the things will be common. Okay, if you take any bank, whether ICICI, HDFC, Axis Bank, SBI or something else, okay, most of the things are common. But if you take that, okay, there also salary account will be there, or else savings account will be there, or else current account will be there. But the only change what will be there, okay, the amount or else the balance which you will be maintaining in the accounts will be different. Maybe in the SBI account, okay, savings account minimum balance is 5,000. But whereas in the HDFC, savings account minimum balance is 10,000. Whereas in the ICICI Bank, savings account minimum balance would be 2,000. Okay, so only this values will be different, but the conditions are same. Conditions will be common. Okay, so that is the reason why what they have done is PRPC has implemented some small applications for each and every domain. Okay, so what are the domains available? Like banking domain is there, which can be used by all the banks, or else insurance domain will be there, okay, or else automobile sector is there, okay, or else general healthcare
Yeah,
department,
healthcare. Yes.
healthcare department is there. So what they have done is they have developed some applications for each and every domain wise. So when you want to implement any application, either you can use the domain, you can use the application which is already built by PEGA, otherwise you can create your own also. Okay, you can completely, okay, you can completely build from scratch. Otherwise, you can use the framework which is already built by PEGA, and on top of that, you can make the changes accordingly. Okay, so here they have developed some small applications like this: case management, process simulator, process analyzer, enterprise integration, content management integration, portal integration. So like that, on top of PEGA rules process commander, these all are available. So you can make use of these features, and again you can reduce the development time still more by using those features. You see here in this one, he explained more about the more solution frameworks. Okay, like financial services, retail banking, wholesale banking, card services, capital markets, lending, healthcare. Okay, payer, provider, government. Okay, life sciences. Okay, manufacturing, government, retail, insurance, communications, and media. Okay, like that, various solution frameworks are there. So like this, you can reuse of many of these things. And then coming to the flow. So as we already discussed, the flow is a collection of some steps, okay, which will be going from start to the resolving state. So the process through which a unit of work moves until it is resolved. Okay, so a unit of work will be going to the result. So that result can be anything, either accepting or else rejecting. So the leave request can be either approved, otherwise it can be rejected. But it is going to be resolving with something, with some status. Okay, even when you apply for the loan also, the loan can be approved, otherwise rejected, but it will be having some result. Okay, either it can be rejected, okay, due to some credit score less or anything else, otherwise it can be approved if everything is fine. So a vacation request, okay, leave request, and a request for an insurance quote must pass through a series of automated and potentially manual steps before being presented to the customer. So even the insurance policy, if you want to take. Okay, so there are n number of the business BPM tools available. Okay, like PEGA, okay, Lombard, okay, Oracle BPM, Savian, Appian, JBPM, TIPCO, Informatica, like that. Okay, there are n number of the okay BPM tools available. But PEGA is more popular out of these things. Why? Because okay, every day, okay, otherwise every quarterly, okay, they are going to be adding the features. They are going to be upgrading their application in such a way that okay, based on the current trend, they are going to be adding everything. So initially they developed the PEGA just for the business rules, and later they also started implementation of the application also, and later interacting with all the communication channels. Like if you want to send an SMS, if you want to send an email, okay, if you want to create the cases automatically. Okay, so likewise, okay, there are a number of the communication channels also it's been implemented, even Facebook, Twitter, all the communication channels it will support. Okay, so it is in the application also upgrading in such a way that okay, it can interact with any number of the applications. And mainly PEGA is supporting 6 R's. So what are these 6 R's? That means if you want to create any work, okay, it will be having these 6 R's. So each R represents something. Okay, receive, routing, reporting, researching, responding, and resolving. So if you see here in the diagrammatic representing, first we will be receiving an application. Maybe we will be receiving an request from the user. Okay, either that can be scan, fax, or browser, or telephone, otherwise web services. Okay, after receiving the work, what we will do? Okay, we are going to be routing to the respective person. Okay, respective department it will be routed. Okay, so the skill based routing. Okay, based on the skill or priority, okay, the cases will be routed. Okay, once after routing, okay, they are taking the report. Okay, for example, I have taken a bank. Okay, in the bank, I raised a dispute. Okay, so I called to the customer care and I raised a dispute. Okay, once if you raise a dispute, okay, it will be routed to the respective team, okay, respective department for checking the issue, where exactly the issue. And then they are going to be taking the report. Okay, after taking the report, okay, they will be doing the research. Okay, so on one particular day, how many number of the disputes has come, which is the priority one, like that they are going to take the report, and then they are going to research on the particular dispute. After researching, they are going to be respond. Yes, this dispute is proper one. Okay, we are going to revert back the money. Otherwise, this dispute is the proper one only. There is no dispute at all. So the amount will not be refunded. Okay, and then it is going to be resolving. Okay, so either by refunding the money, otherwise by not refunding the money, saying that okay, this is a proper transaction which you made, so there is no dispute at all. So like that, these 6 R's will be depends on PEGA if you want to create any work. Okay, so the main advantages like development time will be reduced, and the performance of the application also will be faster if you compare with the any other application. And even this is more secure. Okay, it is having user privileges. Okay, like that. Okay, only the specific users can access the application who is having the permission. Okay, and then security, after the security, maintenance cost also will be very less. Okay, why? Because 1 year application you developed in 6 months itself. So the total maintenance will be reduced. Even in future also, if you want to make any changes in the application, as we discussed, we will be giving the permissions to the end users, okay, only for the specific people to modify the conditions. And even we can do the database setup also with PEGA very easily. And web services, even if you after developing an application in PEGA, if you want, you can give that service to be available for other parts of the world. Okay, so from other applications also you can access the application which you developed in PEGA. And it eliminates the burden of coding in traditional languages. Okay, it eliminates the burden of coding in traditional languages. Okay, so you need not write lengthy lines of the code in PEGA. So it's totally a GUI, graphical user interface. And business process modeling in the form of flows. Okay, here everything will be in the form of flows which you can easily understand, and you can easily create it. And even easy debugging. Debugging means what? In case if you face any errors in the application, so even you can easily debug the application. And better change management techniques. Okay, change managements. So what are the change managements? So initially I developed an application with some requirement, and later the business user said that okay, this is not the actual requirement, so this need to be small change. Okay, so like okay, even if you take that bank which we already discussed, like initially 10,000 is the minimum balance in the savings account. Later if you want it to be 5,000, so that changes also you can implement it accordingly. Okay, so this PRPC is completely built on Java. Okay, using a XML data structure and runs on leading J2EE application servers. Okay, so if you want to install PEGA, okay, you should have any of these application servers. Okay, WebSphere, WebLogic, Tomcat, and it will also support JBoss. Okay, so by using any of these application servers, you can install the PEGA. Okay, but when you install the PEGA personal edition, you need not install all these things. Okay, even that is also graphical user interface. When you select next, something like that, okay, it will automatically create the WebSphere or Tomcat server automatically in your local systems. It will also create the Postgres database server, which is like a Microsoft SQL server. Okay, so everything will be set up automatically for you. And this architecture supports established and emerging standards for transport and transformer and formatting of data. So to interact with other applications, okay, what you can do, you can either convert your data into the XML format or EJB or SOAP or COM or CORBA, okay, and the MQ series. So all these features it will support. So any application can interact easily with the PEGA PRPC. And the rules resides in a single relational database instance known as the rule base. Okay, so in PEGA, whatever you install, everything is going to be saving into the database. The database, it is called as a rule base. So open database architecture allows Microsoft SQL Server or Oracle to support the rule base. So it will support Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, PostgreSQL, or any other RDBMS package. Okay, and it can be integrated to separate relational databases with Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, or IBM DB2 as well. Okay, so with all these three, not only these three, and with any other RDBMS package also, you can easily interact with that. And it provides a single integrated thin client environment for building, testing, and using applications. Okay, so you need not maintain very difficult environment. Okay, it's very thin environment only. Okay, for building, testing, and using the applications. And even multiple engines running on distributed systems can share the processing load of an application, providing scalability. So it will also support multiple engines. Okay, so I already said that okay, there are a number of the frameworks are available. Okay, like for healthcare, okay, it is one application is there. So for banking, one application is there. So here for banking, SISD will be used, Smart Investigate and Smart Dispute. And CPM, CPM means what? Customer Process Management. So what is the use of this CPM means? Okay, so this CPM can be used in any domain. Okay, why? Because if you take insurance domain also, customer care application is required. Why? Because customers will be calling to the customer care representatives and they will be interacting the information. Even in the banking also, even in the healthcare also. Okay, so this is the CPM is the common framework which can be used across all the domains. And for insurance, specific insurance framework is there. For healthcare framework is there. For PMF, project management framework. So this is specific to the project management. So like that for each and every domain, okay, there are various number of the frameworks available, which you, if you want, you can reuse them. Otherwise, you can build from scratch yourself. Okay, so if you take the total architecture of the PRPC, then it will come like this. First, we will be having the OS. Okay, even if you want to operate your laptop also, you must have the operating system. Even for your mobile also, Android OS is there. In the same way, okay, here you can have this PRPC on Windows, Linux, Unix, or any other operating system. And database also. Okay, it will support SQL, Oracle, DB2, Postgre, or any other database operating also, database RDBMS package also. So development kit, okay, you should have the Java JDK. This is the mandatory one. And the Java app servers. So app servers, as I told you, you can use either Tomcat, WebLogic, WebSphere, or JBoss also. Okay, so on top of this one, then we will be having the PEGA framework. So this PEGA framework to run, you should have any of all these things like this. Okay, so this is the main system architecture. Okay, so to run the PEGA PRPC personal edition with the 8.5 version, you should have minimum 8 GB RAM. Okay, and the Intel i5 is mandatory. Okay, and then after having this workstation, on the workstation you will be installing the PEGA PRPC, which will be interacting with the JDBC to your MS SQL Server, Oracle, otherwise IBM DB2. Okay, where the PRPC installed, that database name is called a rule base. Okay, this rule base will be residing in any of these RDBMS packages. Okay, so mainly three types of the certifications will be support for the PEGA developers. Not only these three, there are n number of the certifications also available. Okay, but if you want to decide your career as a developer, PEGA developer, then you need to write these three. Okay, so even when you are applying for the job also, those people will be asking what are the certifications you have used. Okay, mainly they will be looking for certified system architect, certified senior system architect. Okay, this CLSA means certified lead system architect, which is a very advanced level. Okay, where he is going to be completely designing the PEGA application. Okay, so mainly once after completing your course, it's better if you write the certified system architect and certified senior system architect. And the PEGA versions, it started from 3.4, okay, and later 4.1, 5.1, 5.2, 6.1, 6.2, 7.1, 7.2, okay, 8.1, 8.2, 3, 4, and currently we are with the current version is 8.5 version. So currently PEGA 8.5 version is running, okay, which we will be learning on the PEGA 8.5 only, okay. So why it is having these many number of the versions? Even if you take Windows also, Windows is there from very long back, Windows 3.0, Windows 90, Windows NT, okay. So like that, how it is having Windows operating system with n number of the features added. In the same way, PEGA also having n number of the versions by adding n number of the features. Okay, so this work life cycle management, so which supports 6 hours, so which we already described with the diagram. Okay, so with receiving, we will be creating the work, and later we will be processing the work, and then we will be resolving the work. Okay, receive, okay, route, respond, report, research. So this will be like a rotational cycling. Okay, but until unless it resolve, it will be going into the same cycle, and once it will be resolved, it will be closes, it will be resolve the work. So this is the work life cycle management. Yeah, that is the introduction about the Gopal. So are you, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a good, no, sir, good session and nice explanation.
Okay, yeah, maybe today I just went a little faster. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll be this much faster. Okay, in your class actually. Okay, so if you are still,
Yeah, no problem.
if you are interested, then and even in the class, if you have any doubts or any queries, whenever you want, you can stop and ask me to ask
Yeah,
me the
sure.
question. I'll be resolving. So if you are
Yes.
interested to update to these people,
Yes.
okay, they
Yeah.
recording. Yeah, morning 7 to 8 is our classes actually. Okay,
Okay.
okay, morning 7 to 8 will be there. So if you are interested, yeah, maybe you can join tomorrow morning 7 to 8 class also. Okay, they started
Yeah,
just
sure.
yeah, they are just 3 classes ahead. So
Okay.
tomorrow join. Yeah, I will try to cover okay some of the
Yeah.
parts of the high level, and later we will be having one more session. Okay, on which I will
Yeah,
be
sure.
explaining further.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Gopal. Thank you. See you tomorrow if you are
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, sure.
Bye bye.